Hey YouTube, this is City Prepping. In this video, I wanted to give you a quick update on what's been happening with the channel. I haven't put up a video in over a month, which is probably one of the longest breaks I've had on the channel in probably the last year. And I want you to know everything's okay. It's just I've honestly been extremely busy. I own a web development agency. We've been just so busy over the last month. I've been taking on a bit more projects, a bit more work than I could really handle. So I've had a hard time kind of keeping up with things. So kind of get everything squared away, and I'm getting back into the flow of putting out videos. As far as what's been going on with my 90-day physical challenge, I put that on the channel a while back. I'll put a link in the cards if you want to. I think it's on this side. I'll put a card up there and you can check out that video. For me personally, I've been, been pretty, how should I say, I've been pretty involved with the diet and exercise routine. I started keto about 2.5 weeks ago. I don't know if you ever tried keto, but it's a bit of a challenge, especially the first day and the first week. It was pretty brutal, coming off sugar and your body having to adjust to that. The first week I went down about 3 or 4 pounds. Last week I went down about 1 pound. I think this week I'm up about half a pound. So I've got to do a little more on the calorie deficit side of things. The first week was definitely really rough. But overall, I've really enjoyed it. I have so much more energy. I feel a lot more energetic. And I definitely plan on continuing to do it over the course of the next several months for this 90-day challenge. For me, my goal is to get down to about 160. I'm right now at around 170, 171. I started out at 175. So there's some stubborn weight I want to get rid of. I still jog, I still do a lot of exercise, but obviously, as you know, you can work out and do as much as you want, but if you don't get the calories down, you'll never really drop the weight. So I'm going to be focusing on that. If you are interested in following along, I'll try to keep videos or post videos from time to time on what's going on, and definitely encourage you to find something that works for you. I've had people reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram, sharing their experience and getting motivated and excited to take on this challenge. And I can't stress it enough. Your health is obviously your number one prep. If you don't have your health, you've got nothing. The one challenge that's been kind of unexpected with doing keto is my blood pressure has gone up. I've done a little research on it. I'm not sure if it's a sodium imbalance or what the issue is. The first week I was really putting on a lot of sodium because I read about issues with what's called the keto flu, and my goal was to try to really make sure I wasn't depleted on my sodium. So I might have overdone it, but if you do have any experience with that, if you've ever had a high blood pressure from doing keto, post feedback in the comments section below. I haven't been officially tested. It's just I can feel my heart, my veins, everything's just pulsing so hard sometimes. So one of the things that I found has been very helpful is just jogging. That kind of helps relieve a lot of the stress and helps bring the pressure back down. So if it continues on, I'm definitely going to talk to a physician about that. As far as what's been happening with my garden, I actually got around to harvesting it here recently with my family. There was a lot of things that it was starting to produce, onions. I was getting way more basil and other things that I kind of overplanted. And so I was able to take a lot out. Some of it I freeze dried, I put it in my freeze dryer. Some of it I just gave away because it was just more than I really anticipated. For me, my goal with gardening is just to be quite honest, I just want to see if I could actually do it. And you may think that's kind of funny, but I tried gardening for the last few years and I failed miserably. I just had really bad experiences. A lot of it just came down to not having plants in the right area, not the right lighting. I wasn't watering them enough. So I did a video not too long ago. I'll put a card up above. We actually installed a drip irrigation system. So it's on a timer. So it's been foolproof. As a result, the garden has really grown well. There's been some things that have grown better than others. But the good news is I'm really excited about doing additional gardening in the future. I'm not so scared about it anymore. And if you've never got into gardening, highly recommend it. Just start with the basics, even if it's, oops, sorry, I got a fly around me. Whew, got some big horse flies now out here right now. But if you just start out with a simple square foot, if you ever look up square foot gardening, that's a really simple way to start. If you're intimidated by gardening, that book does everything. It explains the whole system too. That's how I started out learning gardening. And once you kind of learn the basics, you find that it's really not that difficult. As long as you have good soil, water, and some nutrition to throw into the soil, you're pretty much good to go. So if you haven't started gardening, highly recommend that. I've also had some people ask about how my bees are going. Quite honestly, I don't have an update on those. I put a second box in several weeks ago. I started editing the video for that and just ran out of time. I'm probably going to try to get that up here in the next week. And the bees, overall, they're doing amazing. They ended up doubling, or rather they filled up the first box. And so I installed a second box. And I don't know if I got them in time before they split. So I'm hoping that they didn't put out more queens and take half the colony. I'll probably go check on them next week to see if they're expanding into the second box. And I'll have to obviously check for varromites and other things that can become a problem. But overall, I go up and check on them at least visually once a week, or once a day rather. I'll just go up there, look at them, And so far they're all hanging around, so they haven't left the hive yet. But overall they're doing well as far as I can tell, and I'm going to get in and do a checkup on them. And I'll put out a video on expanding into the second box here next week. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have taken off a month. Honestly, apart from being just busy with my job, I needed a bit of a break from the channel. I put out a couple of videos here recently that I spent a lot of time and energy researching, putting out, and YouTube shot them down, or at least the last one where I talked about potential pandemic issues. They demonetized it, and again, that was a video that was very thoroughly researched. And I'll be honest, it was pretty frustrating when you put in a lot of time and energy into your channel and have YouTube take stuff down. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's definitely demoralizing. So what I'm gonna be doing and the changes I'm gonna make on the channel over the next few months is I've actually begun to hire people on to help me with the channel, to do video editing, to do other things that go into making videos. So I've actually hired a few people, and they're gonna begin to help me. As a result, what you'll see is I'll be putting out more videos. My goal is to put out 2, potentially 3 videos a week. I'll be ramping those up over the next few months. Obviously, I'm going to have to train the people that I'm hiring on to understand how I do videos, the quality that I do. It's really difficult to release creative control and trust people to do things as good as you can. I've talked to other YouTubers that are kind of in the same situation, same boat, and it's frustrating and it's difficult to let go at times because you want things to be perfect. But as I've learned with starting other businesses, you can never really grow until you learn to trust. It's really difficult, especially if you're a control freak and you want things to be perfect like me. I love having high quality videos. And so my hope is these video editors, especially that I'm bringing in, I've seen some of their content and it's amazing. So my hope is the quality will actually go up as a result. So I'll be keeping you posted on that. And again, you can expect to see that ramp up hopefully in the next month. I'll, over the next few weeks, try to get out a video once a week as I'm, have the time and as I have the help to do it. What's next with the channel? What can you expect over the next few months? Well, first of all, one of the things I really need to work on, and I'm going to be doing around my property, is getting it ready for fire season. Fire season has officially already started in our area where I live. I live in what's called a high brush territory. Fire's obviously the #1 threat for me where I live. I've got to constantly be ready to be on standby to evacuate if fires get out of control. And so I'm going to begin to clear back more things around my property. I'll be making sure things are set up and ready in the event a fire actually sweeps through this area, that myself, my family, we can evacuate quickly. My wife is definitely not a prepper, but she's been definitely interested in getting gear ready, getting supplies ready if we have to leave in a moment's notice. So I'm going to be working on that. I'll probably be doing some videos on getting ready for fire season. I know it's kind of a regional issue, but for me, it's a very important issue that I've got to deal with. I'm also going to be working on some earthquake videos and doing some product reviews. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited about that I've been working on is putting together a website. I'm currently working on that. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I have a team of web developers. That's what my agency does. So we've been working on a website. It's not going to be anything radical, but there are some components that we're building. I'm going to build kind of my own Patreon area. I've looked at Patreon in the past, and I've kind of gone back and forth whether I should ask people to get involved with my Patreon account. I've got one set up, but I've never promoted it. But honestly, like YouTube, Patreon's rented space, and I'm a little concerned about putting all my eggs in that basket because they can pull you if they don't like you. I've seen them take down other channels, especially conservative channels. And so as a result, for me, I'd rather just build my own platform, and that's what I'm doing. It's not that difficult. So I'll be doing some updates here pretty soon once I get the website developed. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, even if it's $5, $10 a month, if you're interested, I'll give you that option. Again, what I'm going to be doing is investing heavily in the channel, focusing on producing more content, and it's going to obviously cost money. I'll have to get gear, I'll have to pay employees now, and my hope is I can just ramp up the quality of the content and the frequency on the channel. So I'll be rolling out some updates on that here in the next month. Again, to all my faithful subscribers and people that have messaged me recently asking what's going on, again, I appreciate your concern. Like I mentioned, everything's fine. I've just been really busy with life. But overall, things are going really well, and I'll keep you posted over the next few weeks. So again, thanks to everybody for taking the time to watch the video, and as always, stay safe out there.